It's Saturday the 27th of June 2026 and we're just heading off for a tour of the northern beaches of Sydney, stopping at some of the significant places for me when I was growing up. For example, where I first lived, where I worked. I was born on the 3rd of March 1952 at the corner of Falcon and Miller Street. But because my mother's birthday was on the 3rd of March and I arrived at the hospital on the 4th of March, they put down on my birth certificate the 4th of March 1952. This was the first house that we lived in. It's the top of the hill overlooking Manly. We just met Leah, who's the current owner of the place in Mildred Avenue. She's invited us in to have a look at the view out the back, looking down towards Manly Beach and Queenscliff Beach. Magnificent view. We lived here for about 3 years. These are the new council steps that are being provided to replace the steps that Dad carved out of the rocks. And there's a photograph of me standing on these steps. One of the few photographs of me when I was Pity it's not a clear day. It's a bit cloudy today, so not a very clear shot of the view from that's looking down towards Manly.
Over there?
Yeah.
That's,
you can see we're looking towards Balgowlah.
They do the fireworks and we can see it from here.
And Sydney City is in the distance there where the high rises are.
Where the people?
You can see the rocks in the front of the house. It's all been renovated. Looks magnificent now with a fantastic view. And those rocks you can see in the distance is where Dad carved out the steps down to the road where we're standing. It was always a public pathway, but Dad actually made the steps down to the road here. Now the council's replaced his steps with proper stepping. Zach's just walking up the council steps, which have replaced the steps that Dad cut out. When I was about 3 or 4 years old, we moved down the bottom of the hill, down to Pitt Street. This is the entrance to Pitt Street. Very tight entrance. When we first moved into Pitt Street, this was a dirt road, red dirt. I still remember every time it rained we'd get rivulets come down here. Sometimes the dunny trucks couldn't come down because in those days there was no sewage. We had septic. They used to clean out the toilets, so the dunny truck used to come down here and collect the pans. Down the end, halfway down, is Jacaranda Place, which was just bush when we first moved in, then they turned it into a street. Still remember the people who used to live up here, the Kenyans, the drivers, the Joneses, the Swikels. And on the other side of the road, across the road from where we lived, was the tennis courts owned by Mrs. Brown. Now there's houses. My mate Billy used to live up here. We used to play cricket in his backyard. Across the fence lived the Russells, Philip Russell and Trevor Russell. We used to play cricket with them in the old days. They were very good sportsmen, very good at soccer. On this side of the road was where the tennis courts were, owned by Mrs. Jones, an old lady. And down the bottom of the street, the cul-de-sac, was entrance into Burnt Bridge Creek. We used to walk across there to get to Balgowlah, but in amongst there were long grass. We used to make tunnels through the grass.
Names because I forgot Heather's name.
So
What's
you
the
live
other
in
boy?
you live in Mrs. Brown's house,
I live in Mrs. Brown's house.
and you lived here for 27 years. And what's your name, Doc?
I've lived here for 26 years, and I'm Belinda.
You're Belinda.
And I'm married to Matt, and so that was Mrs. Jones, and she was here when I moved here.
Well,
But the kids were all gone, and that's Heather, and what's the son's
so
name?
who lives in our old house? That's
Sam.
our old house.
That's
Haven't
your
changed.
old house.
Yeah, that's my old house. That's why I'm here.
Oh, that one.
We were the Yells.
Okay.
Dad built that. I actually
No, 'cause
helped.
Russ was Kath's wife. It was Norm. No, Norm. Norm lived there. Norm, and they both passed away now. The daughter lives there now.
Oh, the daughter lives
The
there.
daughter lives
They've done
there now.
nothing to the house since we moved out.
You could probably.
You can't even see the front fence. We used to have a picket fence there, a white
you?
picket fence. So this is the Joneses' house. Apparently they've lived here till recently. And up there was
Yeah,
the
so
driver's house.
Yeah, they only just
Someone else
recently
living
sold
there.
it. This house has only been sold in the last year.
It's just
And
been
I've
sold
got
in
a
the
young
last.
family now.
So the Swickles moved out
Peter.
recently.
Oh, Peter. Does that sound familiar?
No.
Mossman High School teachers.
So Heather Jones became a school principal.
Our principal and staff. Mossman High School. Yep, she's a headmistress at some private school out west.
Mr. Inwood, who used to live on the corner here, died in his hundreds.
Yep, and only like recently he was in his
Only
house
recently.
Ever, like in the last year, 2 years.
And the Joneses still lived here. This place was sold recently.
Head teachers.
And that's our house, number 11 Pitt Street. Haven't done a thing to it. Looks exactly when we sold it.
He must have reached the retirement age.
Belinda's been so helpful telling me
Yeah.
a bit about the history of people
Yeah,
who
so
were
Heather, it's Peter.
Peter
What was their last name? Jones.
Jones.
Peter
But
Jones.
there was Russell.
I think Russell died. Russell, the young one, had died. Can't remember how, but it wasn't very, it was cancer or something tragic young. And the owners of that house, oh no, you live there, so, because they're still, the same family's still in there.
We're looking at the Inwood's house being demolished. This is where Mrs. Inwood lived, and she taught me how to cook after my mother died. And this is our house behind all these bushes. They've done absolutely nothing to this house. It's like they're trying to hide from the world. And this is looking up Jacaranda Place. At the end of Jacaranda Place was where Ed Crotty lived. He was a professional wrestler. And just on the left-hand side there, where the garages are, is where Mrs. Neighbour still lives, apparently. She was living there when we were there. Can't get a good shot of the house at Pitt Street because of the bushes around. Someone who lives in the cul-de-sac is coming towards us now. And this is the driveway into the garage that no longer exists. This garage was made into a flat for Christine and Dirk so they could save some money. And just where that shed is on the left was where the toilet used to be, so late at night we used to have to go outside in the middle of the night to go to the toilet, sit on the cold pan, and the pan was collected by the dunny truck on a weekly basis. That's where the Eager Kings lived, and the Mertons lived. Dave Merton, and a mate of mine, played football with him, lived in this white house here. Just say I'm Mary Neighbour. I'm Mary Neighbour. I used to live across the road from you. So what do you remember about Sylvia, my mother? What do you remember?
She used to come round quite a bit.
She used to play tennis. Did
Yeah,
you
we
play
used to
tennis?
play tennis
Did you
together.
play tennis with her?
Yeah, yeah.
The courts were just across
Yeah.
the way there.
Yeah.
I think it's the expressway has taken
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, I used to play tennis with Sylvia. We used to go across the creek.
Yeah, that's
We
right.
used to go over that
I
way.
remember going and watching her play tennis.
Just
I think it was on a
these photos,
Friday.
I think I have to pay Ram some money.
I think it was on a Friday afternoon, wasn't it, tennis? Was it Friday? Friday they played tennis?
Yeah.
Do you remember what day they played? Was it Friday afternoon?
Oh goodness, I can't remember that. I don't know when.
Yeah.
Could I forget now? Because I've played tennis a lot. I played with Eula across the street there too. We played over there. And I've played a lot of competition tennis.
Well, it's kept you fit. You're still.
Yeah, I've played
It's nice to see someone at your age still fit and
a
active.
lot of tennis. I've played a lot of tennis.
Yeah.
And swimming, of course. I've got a pool in the back.
So how old was your husband when he died?
51.
Yeah, he's only young. Such a handsome dude too, wasn't he?
Yeah, very good looking.
Yeah. I was just saying to Belinda, think of Gregory Peck, and you got
Well, I used to say he looked like, who was it? Oh, Errol Flynn.
Errol Flynn too.
Yeah,
He was
looked
very
like
straight,
him.
wasn't he? Walked very straight.
Oh,
I remember him walking home.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was athletic too. He used
Yeah.
to play football.
He walked very straight, very
Yeah.
tall.
Oh, yes, he was athletic.
Yeah.
He was a good sportsman.
What do you remember of my dad, Ray?
Ray was a bit of a villain. He used to get himself into trouble
Yeah,
with his bad temper.
yeah, he had bad temper.
He
That's
did,
for sure.
yeah, I remember that.
I suffered from that
familiar.
bad temper.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I remember Ray. He's always in strife.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
get
Mary,
that thing away from me, I look dreadful. I
no,
couldn't have looked worse.
You look fine.
that's fine. Anyway. This is a shot from Mary's place looking across at number 11 Pitt Street where we used to live. You can see how overgrown it used to be, or it is at the moment. Used to have a frogmouth owl in the tree, used to sweep down on us when we were in the backyard. Just spent about half an hour listening to stories from Mary. This area that's now made into a reserve, called the Swain Reserve, after the Swains who lived up the top of the street. This was where the long grass was. We used to make tunnels through the long grass. Also held bonfires here. At the end of Pitt Street is Burnbridge Creek. Used to come down here and play in the water when it was clean. Not clean at the moment and very overgrown. There used to be a little waterfall up there. But there was a bridge across here. We could cut through here to get to Balgowlah Shopping Centre. Used to walk up to the Totem Shopping Centre up at Balgowlah, get our groceries. So now there's an expressway on the other side. This is just looking from the end of the cul-de-sac up the hill, Pitt Street, the truck coming down, doing a bit of renovation building on the left hand side, and that's Jacaranda Place on the left hand side. And where the guy is with the pram, that's just where number 11 Pitt Street is, where we used to live. House has been untouched since we sold it. We sold it about 70 years ago, or 60 years ago. We sold the house when I was about 16 or 17 years old.
How's it feel to be at your old house?
Feels like it was when I left it. No one's done the garden, so
Yeah, it's a bit overgrown.
looks very untidy. Not been touched for 60 years. This is the entrance into the Manly Golf Club. It's where I used to work as a caddy when I was about 13, 14 years old. Used to get $1 for caddying 9 holes, and then you used to get $1.50 if you caddied 18 holes. If you're lucky, the golfer might buy you a Coke halfway around. So I worked as a caddy here on weekends. This is where the McNees live. Mrs. McNee Joan McNee was her name. She became my surrogate mother after my mother died when I was only 13 years old. Mother died of cancer, brain tumour. In 1966 I scored 64 goals in a season, including 10 in one match, the only match where all my family turned up. Manly Vale Public School was the first school that I attended. I was the third cohort to go through. Christine, my sister, was in the first cohort, and I attended here from 1958 to 1963. I was actually dux of the school and sent to Manly Boys High. It's now an environmental school. We spend a lot of time doing the gardens. One of the teachers, Mr. Avery, was keen gardener. The school now looks nothing like it did. It's a much more simple school when I attended. Just down the street from Manly Vale Public School is Manly Reservoir. Used to swim and boat around here and have barbecues. See a barbecue area in the distance there. Beautiful little area, quiet spot in the middle of the city. After finishing at Manly Vale Public School, I was enrolled at Manly Boys High. Manly Boys High is now called Northern Beaches Secondary College. It's a selective campus now. I was here from 1964 to 1969. 1964 to 1969. And my name's on the honours board for economics. I came 5th in the state in economics and 14th in the state in geography. I got 127 out of 130 for English. This is a shot of the house where Mum used to live when she was a kid, where my grandmother and grandfather lived. Number 4 Cormac Street. This is the units that are replaced where Christine used to live, 139 Queenscliff Road. It should be 139 since the one next to it is 137. For some reason they've got 138 on it. This is across the road from Queenscliff Beach, which was my go-to beach when I was a kid. We look around, looking down. These are the Queenscliff baths, haven't changed. This is where I learned to swim. Learned very quickly because Dad just threw me in the water and said, "Swim, son." This is Queenscliff Beach. And looking down towards Manly Beach in the distance. This is my surfing spot. And halfway down is North Stone Surf Club. So you've got 3 beaches, a little bit like in Brazil. A long stretch of beach. So next stop is Manly, looking down towards Manly Beach. Manly Beach is pretty quiet today because it's in June. Someone going brave enough to go and have a swim down there. There's Manly Surf Club.
Public transport and stuff like that.
Saturday morning markets, Manly Beach. We're now just taking a walk down the Corso in Manly, walking from the ocean side or the beach side through to the harbour side or the ferry side. It's about a 10-minute walk. And halfway along the Corso is the church where Mum and Dad got married. St Matthew's Church has been modernised. Got an LCD screen there advertising. On the western end of the Corso is Manly Wharf, where the ferries go from Manly across to Sydney Cove, the CBD of Sydney. And looking around here, this is where the enclosed pools used to be. Now it's a restaurant and there's a museum. Looking east along the Corso, and there's Zach just crossing the pedestrian crossing, coming across the Manly Wharf. Zach stands out in his red shirt. This ferry looks like it's had better days. These are the ferries that travel across to Sydney. It's about a 20-minute trip. And here's the dilapidated old ferry heading its way to Sydney Cove. I really thought it was in poor condition. Another one waiting to pick up passengers. A more modern ferry pulling out there. They do have hydrofoils running across to Sydney Harbour. Here's a ferry returning from Sydney. Museum was no good. It was more an art gallery than a museum. They had nothing of the old Manly pool and the pontoons that used to be floating in the foreground. The foreground there. Just coming into Mona Vale, this is where one of my girlfriends lived, Susie Ellerman. She actually won Miss New South Wales Beauty Contest soon after we broke up. Susie lived in one of these houses along here. And this is the third place I lived at, which was in Yorkview Avenue, Newport. Dad built his house down here. House has changed a little bit, been spruced up, looks very nice. This is the house that Dad built in Yorkview Avenue, number 3 Yorkview Avenue. While going through high school and university, I worked for a gardener called Frank Tunney for 7 years. He gave me as much work as I could take on, fitted into my schedule at university, and this is where he lived. He used to love his wine. He's one of the nicest blokes I ever met. Anyway, his house has been sold and now this little shopping centre's been put up. His brother John Tunney used to live next door here. It was John who I applied for a job with. He didn't take me on, but he gave me to Frank. And Frank took me on. Worked for 7 years with Frank, all around Palm Beach, Whale Beach, all the wealthy people, all the millionaires, senators, businessmen, general managers, founders of companies, stockbrokers. Worked for Levy and Allen stockbrokers. Did their gardens. And now Frank's passed away and his house has been pulled down, replaced by this shopping centre. This looks like the original driveway into Frank's shed at the back. He used to have a big wine collection. Whenever you came around to Frank's place, he always filled you up with wine and beer and then send you on your way. According to this, This place has been here since 2017. Frank died about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. Just looking across at Palm Beach. This is where I used to work as a gardener about 55 years ago. The Packers had a house right at the end of the street, and next to it was the Cabbage Tree Club, where all the wealthy people in the area used to congregate. It's a new house being built right on the point. And up here, these hills was where the gardens were that we used to work on, mowing lawns and tending their flowers and bushes and clearing up their scrub. This is the Cabbage Tree Club, which was here back in the late 60s and early 70s. Private club for the wealthy people of Palm Beach and Bayview. In the distance is Barrenjoey Lighthouse. And at the base of the lighthouse where they shoot the series called Home and Away soap opera. And this is Club Palm Beach. It used to be called Palm Beach RSL, where Frank and I used to have a beer after work. Then he'd send me home around the Bilgola Bends with Billy. Still got the Palm Beach RSL sign on the car park. Now it's called Palm Beach, Club Palm Beach. The bends, these are the bends Frank used to send me around after belly full of grog. I think it was funny.
There's a big one coming up here.
Big bend coming up here. It's hard to keep track. But one of my drinking buddies was a copper, so figure that one out. Bit unsteady when you drive around here with a belly full of grog. Anyway, I was very careful. With the camera shaking, it sort of mirrors how I felt when I was driving. These are called the Bilgola Bends, very famous.
There's one overlooking the water coming up. So,
Bilgola Beach down on the left. I always breathed a sigh of relief after I finished going around the bends. Came into Newport Beach, which is just ahead there.